All right, you guys, let us go ahead and get this going. Welcome to this weekly team training webinar. As always, I just always want to say thank you and just really congratulate you for taking the time out on the Sunday evening to dedicate to these calls. And, you know, I always look at who is on the roster for the evening, and all of you guys are the people that are really moving your business forward. And I know some people do catch the recordings, but I just really appreciate you guys taking the time out every Sunday to tune into these. And I will do a roll call at the end because I know a lot of times team leaders want to know who is on here. So I'll go ahead and wait until the end because I know some people slide in after a couple minutes. But basically what I wanted to cover tonight is some of the things that we talked about on our daily power calls throughout the week. And I actually put it out there on Friday before I had my little breakdown on the call. Just really wanting to make sure and dial into you guys that we wanted to keep these Sunday training webinars going, because with the daily power call Monday through Friday, I just wanted to make sure that you guys still wanted to tune into these, and so I was really glad to hear that you did. So here we are. So we have these and the daily power calls. If those calls are not something that you've been tuning into or catching the recordings of, I really highly encourage you to do that. I have gotten such great feedback about how those calls are really just inspiring people, motivating people, and beyond that, just helping people to move their feet. They are just some very practical, down-home, real things that people are doing on our team that are truly, truly working. So what I basically did for tonight's training is I grabbed just some of the things that we talked about throughout this past week on those daily power calls and just really wanted to drive it home to you guys. So we are going to move on here. Let's see. All right. So a lot of what we're going to talk about tonight, and really most of what we're going to talk about, is more so on the customer end of things. And just really getting you guys to understand and appreciate the fact that we love, love, love customers. As much as we want to bring on promoters and we want everybody to see things the way that we see it and see the fact of we just have such a tremendous financial opportunity to literally just go out and change people's lives. Not everybody is going to see it that way initially. In fact, most people will not. But we really want to take care of our customers, for one, because people need it. People need to be on this challenge, and no matter what their current physical state is, people need to be on this challenge. And second of all, you know, we want to take good care of our customers because a lot of them will become promoters because they may come on board and join the challenge and get their product for free and then kind of look in the mirror one day and say, wow, well, beyond me getting my product for free, it would be kind of nice to get a check every Monday. So let's go ahead and move in that direction. So what I'm going to talk a lot about tonight is customers and how to approach them, how to take care of them, how to retain them, all of those different things. And again, if you have not caught the daily power calls from this past week, really go ahead and listen to the recordings, because none of this is stuff that I'm making up. This is things that, you know, people on the team are and out in the field are doing, and it is working. So that is why we come together, is to really talk about what's working so we're not out there spinning our wheels at all. So one of the things that we talked about was the power of samples. And if you do not already have a stash of these somewhere, I highly encourage you that you spend a minimum of $28. You get 15 of these individual sample packets, and you just always have them with you. And I know some of you guys just put some powder in a bag, and we call that ghetto style, okay? Whenever you put white powder in a Ziploc bag, we call that ghetto style. And that's cute and that's fine, but, you know, we really want to always present just a professional image with everything that we do. So these sample packets are perfect. So you can get 15 of them for $28. I mean, you really can't beat it. So, samples are great because one of the first things that people want to know is, well, what does it taste like? And they kind of scrunch up their face and just automatically think of other shakes that they've had and experienced that just totally gross them out. And so we can just very confidently hand over a sample packet and say, hey, taste this. And the biggest thing about giving sample packets out is go ahead and set up a time to follow up. One of the biggest places where people drop the ball is not setting up a time to follow up. Always set up a time to follow up and never feel like you're bugging them, because here's the deal. None of us treat this like a hobby. We treat this like a business. And in order for us to run our business effectively and efficiently, we need a follow-up plan, and we need to put it in our phone, in our calendar, whatever it is, so that we are always doing what we say we're going to do. So when it comes to a sample packet, you go ahead and give it out. Of course, give them, some of the magical recipes that we have that we know from the first sip people are going to be completely sold just from the taste. So whether it's the Reese's or the Butterfinger or the frozen fruit or whatever it is, then just let them know exactly how to make it. Do not let them try to figure out any of that on their own, or just try to read the back of the packet. They're going to blow it somehow. And we would never want anybody, because of their misuse of it, to feel like this is not the best tasting shake in the world. So make sure that you're telling them a couple of recipes, exactly how to make it, and you go ahead and ask them, when do you plan on trying it? Are you going to have it for dinner? Are you going to have it for breakfast tomorrow? And let them tell you. And then you say, great, well, I'm going to go ahead and follow up with you at this time. Is that a good time to call you back? And they'll let you know. But don't ever feel like you setting up a follow-up is you bugging them. We talked about that a lot on the power calls this week, is just really getting rid of that mindset and that belief that follow-up means bugging them, okay? We are professionals. We need a follow-up plan. I don't care whether I'm sending someone to the overview video or sending them out with a sample packet or whatever it is. You let people know when you are going to follow up with them, and you follow up with them exactly at that time, okay? So basically the whole point is make sure that you always have some sample packets with you. Let them know a great recipe or two and follow up with them, because they're going to get a great first impression from how it tastes. And so then it's just a matter of basically helping them figure out which kit that they want, okay? All right. So the next thing that we talked about this week was taking your challenge seriously, okay? And, looking at you guys on the line, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but this is just to really drive it home, and then, of course, to pass on to your team, is the fact that taking your challenge serious, and really think of it like your business depends on it, because people want to know what it's done and is doing for you, and you got to have that story. When I take people through a getting started training, they're basically creating two stories. They're creating their physical story and their financial story. So we know, all of us know, that we can have a physical story within 3 days. Within 3 days of drinking the shake, we know that our energy level is going to go through the roof, and we're already going to start to feel lighter, and the number on the scale may already start to go down. So take your challenge seriously. And when you're setting your 90-day challenge goal, set a significant goal. Do not play it safe. You see the results that people are getting. You see what is possible for yourself. So go ahead and set a serious 90-day transformation goal for yourself. And do not ever hesitate to share your personal goal with every single person that you're sharing the challenge with, okay? That should be basically the second thing that you say after you let them know you found out about this great 90-day health and weight loss challenge, okay, is your personal story. And here's the deal, like for me, if your personal 90-day challenge story isn't going to be dramatic, share other people's stories, okay? Go to the customer group, go to the team group. You can find stories all day long. Look at what people are posting on Facebook, the before and after pictures that people are posting. There is a huge reason why there is a share button on any of those pictures. They are out there for the taking. So as soon as you see anything like that, Of course, we won't go into a Facebook training here, but please do not just post ViSalus and Body by Vi Challenge stuff all day long, okay? That is considered spammy to a lot of people, and we are not just ViSalus. We're people, we're wives, we're mothers, we're fathers, we're brothers, we're all these different things in our life, and we want to share every single component, but share as many stories as you possibly can, okay? Very important. All right, and this is really important for you guys to think about is you are your customer's coach. When you bring somebody onto the challenge, you want to understand that you are really assuming the responsibility of their success. You want to make sure that they know exactly how to use their kit. And you want to make sure that they know exactly what a good meal plan is, exactly what some good snack choices are. And you want to touch base with them very frequently to make sure that, first of all, they started, and second of all, that they are using it consistently and properly, okay? And you basically want to become one of their major accountability partners. And as soon as they join the challenge, you look them in the eye, or if they're not local, you really let them know from the heart that you are here for them. You are here for them. They need that accountability. They need that support. They need that motivation. And they need to know that whatever problem they run into, there is absolutely a solution out there. There is nothing that anybody has run into with these shakes or on this challenge that does not already have a solution to it. Nothing. Unless, we always got to consider the people that are just going to be negative and they're going to just have too much fun finding everything wrong with it that, they've already told themselves it's not going to work for them. And you know what? Those are not the people that you pour your energy into, okay? I'm not saying that you give up on them, but we all only have a certain amount of energy that we can give. Energy is a very valuable resource, just as is time. So just be very careful of who you're pouring your energy and your time into. If they're just shooting everything down and only finding what's wrong with it, and they're not into shakes, or, they don't like milk, or, nothing they try, they don't like the taste of it, or whatever it is, you know what? This isn't for everybody, okay? And it doesn't have to be. For most people, it is going to be the best thing in the world that they found. But for those people that are just cynical and negative, just, touch base with them, but do not pour all of your time and energy into them. And I'm telling you guys, that Facebook group that Ladiva started, back several months ago, that is a huge tool for you guys to automatically put your customers in because, just think about it. You see what happens. You set people into the group. You say, hey, welcome, to the customer group. They get like anywhere from 5 to 15 people saying, welcome, we're here to help you. Good God, what kind of first impression is that? People are falling in love with it. So absolutely, as soon as they join the challenge, go ahead and immediately put them in that Facebook group. And you can even put people in the group that are just thinking about it. Maybe they're considering the challenge and you get their permission to go ahead and add them to the group and just say, hey, just see what people are saying. See the results that people are getting. Don't just take it from me. Okay? But the beautiful thing about that group too is it's going to also provide accountability, support, motivation, and solutions. You've seen it happen. You've seen someone ask a question and before you can even get to it, 7, 8, 9 people have already gone and answered the question for you. That is phenomenal, okay? So take the responsibility that you are your customer's coach, okay? You do not just let them join and then check back with them 90 days later and say, so how'd your challenge go, okay? Whether it's once a week or every 2 weeks or whatever it is, then you go ahead and make sure that they know that you are going to be following up with them again. They know that once a week or once every 2 weeks, you're going to be calling them, messaging them, whatever it is. They know and expect the fact that this person is going to be on top of what I'm doing and making sure that I am sticking to this. Okay? Again, that is not bugging people. That is assuming responsibility. And again, you're letting them know up front what the expectation is. They expect to hear from you. Okay? None of this is bugging people. This is all about taking responsibility, ownership of their success, and letting them know that you are their coach and you want to see them all the way through. All right. Another huge point that we talked about, love on your prospects. I cannot drive home enough the importance of this. And what I mean by this is, and Renee, I had her come on the call because she just had a huge living example of it. But this is something that we can be doing every single day. And I know for me, because I'm little, sometimes people are like, well, what do you know about weight loss? Or what do you know about what it feels like to be big? And my heart is in that. My heart understands where they're at. And I am able to sympathize with them in a way that they know immediately that I am right there with them, no matter what. You want to be the safe place. You want to be the place that believes in them when they just don't believe in themselves anymore. You want to be the place that offers hope, okay? And what that basically means is when you are sharing this challenge with people, just already have in mind, I'm constantly telling you guys, this is not just a matter of going by what people say. If people say they can't afford it, or people say, well, I don't really do shakes very well, or people say, well, I've tried everything and nothing works for me, what they're really saying is I have lost hope. And I have tried this and I've failed and I am deathly afraid of failing again. That is what they're saying. They just are afraid to communicate it, or they don't even realize that that's what their problem is and that's what their issue is. So what you want to understand and the angle that you want to come from is just letting them know. Like I shared on the call, I have this woman at the bank. I won't give the whole long version, but basically I've been trying to get her on the challenge for the past 2 months, and I went into the bank to visit her a few days ago, and she was like, you know what, I went to your website and I was about to order, and I just stopped myself. And I said, well, why did you stop yourself? She said, I don't know. And I said, well, there's got to be a reason. What is the reason that you stopped yourself? And she said, I don't know. And because I knew, even though she didn't know, I knew. And I just looked her in the eye and I said, were you afraid? And she said, she just kind of stopped for a second and she said, yeah, I was. I said, were you afraid of failing? And she said, yes, that's exactly what it was. So you need to always have a level of awareness beyond your prospect's level of awareness. And as your coach, again, you're always putting on that coaching hat. You want to just really look that person in the eye or really sincerely talk to that person on the phone or shoot them a message and let them know, you know what, I understand. And I deal with people every single day that felt the same way that you felt, that felt like they just, they didn't want to fail again, that felt like they didn't believe in themselves anymore and they didn't want to set themselves up, that felt like they had tried everything and nothing worked and they had just lost hope and just come to terms with the fact that they were always going to be overweight and unhealthy. So it is amazing how, you hear love conquers all. It is truly amazing that if you just genuinely love on those people in a way that they have just forgotten to really be able to love on themselves, it is amazing what can happen. And just remember, not everybody is going to automatically make a turnaround in front of your eyes. When you see that desire in somebody, and again, we're not talking about negative people. We are talking about the people that if you hear it in their voice or you see it in their eye, that they really have that desire to want to change. They really have that desire to feel beautiful. They really have that desire to feel good about themselves. They really have that desire to just be happy in their own skin. That is where you just pour on the love in a way that they have probably never experienced it before. You never know. Their spouse could be completely bringing them down as far as their physical attraction or their physical being and how they just don't like it. You just never know what type of things that person is dealing with and the things that they're hearing and the beliefs that they have due to what they've just programmed themselves to believe or what they just believe people have said about them. You never know if that person, when they were 6 years old, someone called them fat, and they just constantly just believed that from the time they were 6. Someone planted that seed that they were just a fat kid, and they just grew up, 10, 20, 30 years later, and they formed this very strong belief about themselves that they're just the fat kid. Even though they're 35, they're still the fat kid. So you have a responsibility to, first of all, love yourself enough to even have the ability to love other people. I can tell you firsthand, I tried this for a long time to love on people, and it didn't work until I loved myself so much that I was able to literally overflow that love onto other people. And, we won't get all into this now, but that does not mean being arrogant. That does not mean being full of yourself. That just means loving yourself and learning how to love yourself in a way that allows you to take that love and truly be able to give it to other people. It is impossible. I don't care how much you try. Trust me, I tried it for like 9 years. It is impossible to truly and genuinely love people before you love yourself. So, if you are having a problem in this area of genuinely loving on your people, I highly encourage you to read a book, whatever it is, to learn to love yourself, okay? I always recommend, a handful of books, Think and Grow Rich, How to Win Friends and Influence People, The Slight Edge. The title does not have to say how to love yourself. The whole purpose is to grow and develop yourself as a person, to get rid of the layers of junk that we carry around with us since childhood, from the little things that we've been programmed to believe about ourselves. We need to get rid of that. And that is a process, okay? It does not happen overnight. But you don't have to complete the process because, hello, you never do, in order to start to love on people. But you have got to be at least in the process, okay? You have got to be in the process of peeling back those layers and really being comfortable of starting to reveal the things about yourself that are not pretty. We all have them. And you know what? A lot of us have the same junk. Trust me. It really comes down to a handful of things that we believe about ourselves that we just carry around year after year over and over again, that once we just come to reality and come to the fact that, you know what, that's not true. That is not true about me, that you can get rid of it, okay? It is an amazing process. I highly recommend that you do it, and I can tell you that I certainly would never have been on a webinar with the amazing team that we have if I had not put myself through that process, okay? All right. So this is actually the last slide here, but this is really, really serious, guys. We have a lot of work to do. And I just pulled this picture off of Google because this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. And we have a lot of work to do because now we are raising a generation of kids that are following right in mommy and daddy's footsteps of becoming overweight. And look at this. It's starting even earlier. This girl is probably 7 or 8 years old, and she's already, 15, 20 pounds overweight. And look at mama. Do you really think that mommy is making the right choices for her? No. Mommy is feeding daughter the exact same things that mommy is eating, and mommy is setting up daughter for hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, probably by the time she's a teenager. So you want to take this very, very seriously, okay? And like I tell you guys all the time, this is about you and it's bigger than you. And this is a prime example of the fact that this is absolutely bigger than us. It is time that we assume the responsibility to be the change. And one of my favorite things that Steve Jobs from Apple ever said is to make a ding in the universe. You know, it is not about reaching every single person. It is not about every single person getting it. It is not about spending time with the completely negative people that are just don't get it. You know, they're just not ready. It is about going out there and talking to the people that have come to or are arriving at that point where they realize something has got to change. And do not ever be afraid, as long as you are coming from a place of love, to be brutally honest with people. And again, you know, I always like to drive this home. It is not about what you say. It is all about how you make people feel. And it is amazing how you can say some pretty harsh things, but if you have the right expression on your face, and you have the right tone in your voice, and you have that just energy coming from you, that people will listen. And you even address the fact that, you know what, I know this doesn't feel good to hear it, but nobody is telling you this, and it is something that you need to hear. And I have just chosen to be the person to share this with you. And when you come from that place of just authenticity and love, it is amazing how you can literally see people break down in front of you. That was, you know, Renee shared an experience she had a few days ago. It is amazing when you see people just literally break down in front of you and say, thank you for God bringing you into my life. That is what we're doing, guys. That's why I snap at people that say, yeah, I'm selling the shakes. BS. We are not selling anything. And the last thing that we're doing is selling a shake. We are sharing. We are giving. We are promoting a 90-day health and weight loss challenge that will change your life, that will help you to lose weight, feel better, have energy, improve your overall health. That is what we're doing. I don't know about you. I have never sold a bag of shake. I've never, given a bag and taken money in it for a return. That is sales. I've never done that, and I don't see anybody on this call right now that has. So please avoid that word at all costs. We do not sell anything. We share a life-changing challenge that gives us an opportunity to make a ding in this universe that is getting bigger and bigger and less healthy every single day. Okay? We need to educate people about the fact that McDonald's is not even real food. We need to educate people on the fact that the stuff they're feeding your kids at lunch is a close second. Okay? We have a responsibility. So, you can either take it or you can leave it, but I take it as really, truly an honor. And to be able to tell people, even for me as a trainer of a long time, to be able to say, you know what, if you don't like to exercise, don't exercise. Don't even put that on your plate right now. It's about meeting you where you're at and giving you the simplest solution that there is out there. Okay? So I'm going to wrap it up with that, you guys. If you have, I'll stay here for a minute. If you guys have any questions that you have about anything that I've talked about tonight, go ahead and shoot it over in your little control panel over there. Make sure that you are tuning in to these daily power calls Monday through Friday, 3 o'clock Eastern. They're only typically about 15 or 20 minutes. If you cannot pull away from what you're doing during that time, I typically get the recording posted within an hour of the call. Go ahead and listen to it at your convenience. You just call in right from your phone. You listen to the recording and you get fed. Okay? That is how you get fed. Because there are going to be people out there, they're going to shoot you down, they're going to tell you this stuff doesn't work. So you need to be reminded every single day that this is the real deal. Okay? You're welcome. Yeah, Tammy, we'll talk about that. I'm not sure. All right, you guys. So that is it. Thank you again for tuning in. I will be posting this recording on our team blog, so I'll go ahead and post that link again on the team page once it is uploaded and ready to go. But just really, go out there tomorrow and make a difference. Be the change, you guys. Okay, we have a tremendous, tremendous opportunity here to change a lot of people's lives for generations to come. So love you guys, appreciate you guys so much, and I will be talking to you soon. Good night.